Yo guys, well today I'm going to talk about 5 things that you should or should not do when you have a tuned car. Most of the things that I'm going to tell you are things that you should never do actually in a non-tuned car, but they are more important to do or to not do in a tuned car, because if you don't do it, there's a very big possibility that you will screw up your engine. Because when you have a tuned car, your engine needs to perform better. It will work harder, and your car needs to work harder just because you have more horsepower. Like mine, for example. My car has standard 102 horsepower. If I floor it, my engine barely has to work. But now it has 222 horsepower. When I floor it, my engine now has to work like a mother. My engine is not on its limit, but close to its limit. So there are a few things that you really should do when you have a tuned car to keep your engine's lifespan as long as possible. Number 1, don't skip maintenance. If your car, like I change oil every 10,000 kilometers. The garage said you can do it every 15,000, yes, but I'm gonna do it every 10,000 kilometers. When I floor it, the oil gets very hot, gets very dirty. Especially with this engine, it's very important that you change your oil good enough, that you change it most of the times, because I'll tell you, if you skip oil changes but still, bash on your tuned engine, your engine will fail sooner or later. You shouldn't skip on oil changes and maintenance. Keep your car in a good shape. If you do that, it will also take care of you. But if you treat your car like trash, it will treat your wallet like trash. Most cars do. There are some shit boxes that just won't break. Doesn't matter what you do to them, but most of cars are not like that. Second thing you shouldn't do, put cheap oil in it. Okay, you do the good maintenance, that's a good thing, but you shouldn't skip on cheap oil. I always use the same engine oil as I use in the dealership at BMW. I used to also use the good oil for the car. There are many stores where you can buy very, very cheap oil for a few euros, and maybe if you drive a shitbox that you don't care about, then that's good for you. If you drive a higher performance car, like I do at the moment now, I mean my car is 220 horsepower, goes pretty well, then you shouldn't, and I repeat, you shouldn't put cheap oil in it. It will never optimize your engine as it should. And I'm going to overtake this slow fucker over here. Now it never, it never makes your engine perform like it should, and it's just no good for you. And yet there are a few extra euros, but should you, want to treat your engine worse for like 30-40 euros less? Do you? I mean, if you have a tuned engine and a tuned car, it's going to cost you money. You just know that, and you shouldn't skip on cheap oil. Then the third thing that you should do is put premium gas in. Many tuners do it, but they don't tell you. But after you tuned your car, you should put premium gas in it. My car has 98 octane fuel in it, and it's also tuned on that fuel. If I now put 95 octane in it, it won't be that good for the engine. It will perform not as good as before. So you really should, put the 98 octane fuel in it. It's important. So yeah, I mean, that's something that you really need to think about, that you should put good fuel in your car. Now the fourth thing that you should do is always make sure that your oil temperature is warm, is hot. Most cars, this car doesn't even do it, show your coolant, but your coolant is not your oil. Many people make the fault that your coolant temperature is on 90 degrees, that your engine is hot. That's not true. You should drive for at least about 10-15 kilometers before you floor your car. Depends on the weather. If it's summer and 30 degrees, 10 kilometers will do fine. If it's winter and it's minus 10 degrees, then you should wait 15-20 kilometers before your car is hot enough. even on a non-tuned car, you will cause damage if you floor it on a cold engine. But a tuned car will even do more, because like I told before, with a tuned engine, your car will need to perform better, and if your engine is cold, you will cause damage very, very soon. Apparently on my old car, I thought always after 10 kilometers the car was hot enough, yet I still had a bad head gasket. Apparently I didn't know it happened when I sold the car, so yeah, it was like that. I mean, I don't mind that, so that's why I'm going very, very easy on this car. So that's the other thing that you should really, really look about. And I had a fifth thing in mind, but I kind of forgot that one. Yeah, the fifth thing that you should do is actually, if your car has a very high performance gain, like mine did, you should check if your brakes are still okay. I have the feeling that the brakes in this car are not going to last the power that it has. This car was rated 102 horsepower, now it has more than double. The brakes, they're okay, but they're going to wear out pretty soon, and yeah, you should, if you have high performance engine, you make your car way faster than it is stock, you really should put better brakes on your car. That's really something that you should consider. If you have a car that only gains 25 horsepower from a tune, let's imagine you have a 115 horsepower car, you have a tune and it has now 140 horsepower, then yeah, you shouldn't really look at your brakes. Your car will perform a little bit better, but it won't be anything noticeable that you should change hardware on your car. That's just completely different. But like my car, for example, you should really do it. So yeah, guys, this is actually what I'm going to talk about for today's video. If you like the video, you can always leave a like and subscribe. I will see you guys soon. Bye.